From Man City Fan Chat. How are you all doing today? Hope you're well. Here's the afternoon slot, just after 3 o'clock, 3:01. And we're here to talk for about 15 minutes about footy related stuff to do with Man City. So it's very specific. It's not the same as the evening slot. You know, we have the evening slot around 9 o'clock. I'm not sure we'll do 9 o'clock today. I think I'm thinking of 7:30 today. Because I've got to pick my wife up from the station at around about 9 o'clock. So, a slot that's primarily for talking mostly about City, but in a more casual way, talking about other football and general football, sports, and life in general. Hi, Mike. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Chris. Hi, Darcy. Good to see you on, lads. Very good. I'm just for general chat about City. Hi, Ziffo. How you doing? Ziffo Bucalese, everything's good. Yeah, I'm just explaining, Ziffo. The afternoon slot is primarily 10 or 15 minutes for football talk about Man City. The evening slot, which normally is at 9 o'clock, is a quick share on Twitter to let people know that we're here. And then we will not hang about. We're going to get into it. I'll tell you guys already what we're going to chat about. Always a Liverpool fan, Daz. We usually get Sheffield United, Liverpool, Spurs, lots of different clubs. We're going to talk Dani Alves. We're going to talk a little bit about the Asia Tour. Hi, English Master. So we're going to talk Dani Alves, a little bit about the Asia Tour and some of the players that are confirmed to go. Most valuable clubs in the world. A new table out by Forbes, a new listing there. And finish off with net spend. So let's give a very, very quick thing on Twitter to let people know we're in the house. My computer's getting very slow these days. Don't know what the problem is. Maybe I've got about 40 windows open. That's the problem. Let's see if we can quickly get this up and just let people know what we are about. So how are you guys doing? Hope you're well. We have a couple of minutes, just have a little bit of a chat, and then we'll get banging into it. Dani Alves, eh? Can you believe that? We've been linked with Dani Alves. We'll see. We'll see Dani Alves. Can't even spell valuable. Blimey. Let's get this on Twitter. Let's get a few more people. But I'm not going to hang around once it's up. Just going to get straight into it once this message has gone on Twitter. So slow. Bear with me, let's get this done. Let's get that going. I can't be bothered with waiting for that. So guys, any ideas on Dani Alves, eh? Do you want him at City? Nah, I don't think so. Mike James asking about Dani Alves for one season. Koyo, how's it hanging? It's very good. Chris, hi. Let's go through some shout-outs and then we'll get banging into it. Mike James, yeah, we had a baggy fan on the other day. Hi, Doctori. Is that the Doctori from the Mogadishu Massive? Hope you're well. English Massive. Let's not knock Mangala yet. Chris, Mangala to join former boss Pellegrini. Could do. Careful played till he was 39, Mike, yeah. Sir Stanley Matthews played till he was 50. Linked with hijacking Bruno Fernandes. Why? Why would we do that? What do we want Bruno Fernandes for? Can't believe that. I'm not sure, Dicey. But the third kit is out on the 15th. Maybe get some new kids in. Hi, Chris. Hope you're well. Right, guys. I'll go through the agenda. We're only going to do about 15 minutes today, so we'll get cracking straight away. Dani Alves, Asia Tour. most valuable clubs as in the list from Forbes and Netspend. Now, look, 2 years ago, in 2017, it looked like we were getting Dani Alves. It was all done and dusted. I was quite pleased with that. He still had a fair bit of pace about him, and it looked all signed, seen, and delivered. And suddenly, at the last minute, bang. Should we start with Dani Alves? Dani Alves. Okay. Dani Alves, now he's 36 years old, okay? I think that's right, 36 years old. And there's rumour, maybe because Cancelo's not coming through, there's rumour that he might be coming to City for one season. Paris Saint-Germain. And I think that was he was chatting with Neymar. And or whatever it was very quiet, very last minute, and he was gone. And I think we would have been fuming at City because we thought we got it all done. And now we're being linked with him again. Now, my feeling is it true? Is it just paper talk? Yeah, a paper's just putting it out there because the Cancelo deal hasn't happened, and they're looking for another right back that could work at City. Wan-Bissaka's gone. He was mentioned a couple of months ago. He's gone to United, poor kid. And so, is it just the media looking for any other right back that could vaguely fit in at City? And Dani Alves has come up because he's old. He's 36 years old, but I think he's still got a fair bit in him. But he's 36 years old, but he's just left Paris Saint-Germain. Now, my personal belief is Pep does not go back to players who snubbed him. People have turned him down. The only one that I can remember is Aymeric Laporte, and I've said before, he'd just come back from injury and he was not so sure of himself, and I think that's forgivable, and obviously was forgivable because Pep went back. He recognises his talent. Now, most City fans absolutely against Dani Alves coming. Me too. And he snubbed us once. I don't want him even as a backup. I'm happy enough I want Danilo to stay, or us to get Cancelo or a proper dedicated right back who will challenge Walker for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't want Walker to have an easy life. Honestly, I don't want Walker to have an easy life. I want him, if he's going to play for City, I don't want him to have no competition for his spot. I want him to have a proper competition for the long term. You've got to have pressure on position. So that's Dani Alves. I don't think he's going to come to City. I really don't want him to come to City. It's just a stopgap. We're just giving him a final payday when he snubbed us, when we really, really did want him and probably really, really did need him. And we had to do alternative things there. So Dani Alves, no thank you for me. Asia Tour. Okay, obviously we're going out to Asia on the Asia Tour. We've got China, 2 games in China, a game in Hong Kong against Kitchi, and a game in Japan against Yokohama Mariners. Now, it's been revealed on the City website, some of the players that will be going. I'll just give you a list of them. So that's going to include Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Leroy Sané, Bernardo Silva, David Silva and Kyle Walker. By the looks of it, and it all sounds sensible, the players that are at AFCON, obviously Riyad Mahrez, he won't be going. Even if they get knocked out in the next round, he won't be going. And the players who are in South America at the Copa America, people like Gabby J, Fernandinho, Edison, Sergio Aguero, Nicolas Otamendi, those players, I can't see them going either because, that only finished on Sunday. They're not going to get enough rest. As far as I'm concerned, I don't want to see them in China. I don't want to see them in Hong Kong. Possibly the timing might be right to go to Japan. But what's the point? You're going to fly from Brazil to Japan. It's hard work, that, for a game of football. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure what they'll gain out of it. Personally, I'd rather them all rest. Whether the Liverpool players are thugs or not, and they're going to injure our players because, that's some teams do it that way. And was it Danny Murphy said, leave one in? No, not for me. So those players, it's still some good names. Kevin, Raheem, Leroy, Burn, come back to Manchester, not next week, the week after, and then train up for, not to play the Community Shield, but to be ready for the first league game of the season against West Ham down in London. I don't want these players to play against Liverpool. Bernardo and David and Kyle. That's the makings of a good, solid team. You can see Bravo going, maybe one of the kids as a keeper. Don't know, maybe Danny Grimshaw gets a run out in goal. It'll be very interesting. I expect Eric Garcia to play and a few of the kids. Definitely expect them to play. Third topic of conversation today, and I'll come back to your comments later once I finish these important topics, is the most valuable clubs. Well, new data has been released, I think today by Forbes, and they're talking about the most valuable clubs. So I'll go through a list of some of them, and then I'll say what I feel. Now, we've got Real Madrid, valued at £3.38 billion. Barcelona at £3.19 billion. United, shade over £3 billion. Bayern Munich, £2.4 billion. And City in fifth spot, £2.15 billion. Chelsea in sixth, just over £2 billion. Arsenal, £1.83 billion. Liverpool languishing down in 8th place at £1.74 billion. Tottenham in 9th at £1.29. And Juventus in 10th at £1.2 billion. Let's focus on City. You know, according to the numbers, we're a long way behind United, almost £1 billion below United. I'm not so sure we're that far behind, to be quite honest. It just seems a long way behind. Yes, United, it's easier to value them because their shares are in December 2015. That City sold us a stake in the City Football Group. That's the umbrella organisation that holds all the football teams like New York City FC, Girona, and it owns Melbourne City FC. It's on an open stock market. So you can buy and sell them and trade them. So you can get a very good idea as to the value of Man United. It's very easy. It's the normal way to do things. City is a bit more difficult. It's a bit more difficult to value City because our shares aren't openly traded. They've only ever been traded once, you know. Back in 2015, it was announced on his stake in this Chinese club and the stake in Atletico Talk in Uruguay. Now, the City Football Group, we sold 13% to a Chinese consortium. I think it was Chinese Media Capital, CMC. We sold 13% of done up, 1.5 million quid, or whatever it is, 0.15 billion or 15 million quid in the intervening 3.5 years. Turnovers increased quite significantly. I think we hit over 500 million. I think in CFG for 265 million pounds. Now that valued City Football Group at just over 2 billion pounds, and that was 3.5 years ago. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if we're valued at a shade over 2 billion pounds, then I can't see that off the top of my head. Sorry for not doing the research. We were under 400 million, about 370, 360, 380, something like that in 2015. So our turnover's gone up, and that's one of the indicators for when you're valuing something. You look at the turnover and you do it on one way to value any company is by a multiple of turnover or a multiple of net profit or operating profit. There's various different ways to do this. So personally, I think that £2.15 billion is a shade on the light side, purely because we were valued at around 2 billion quid 3.5 years ago. So that seems light. What the right number should be, I couldn't say. Honestly, couldn't say. But the way things are going with City, the turnover's leaping forwards, especially with we got that Puma deal coming through. That's worth a lot of money. You've got a few of the sponsorships coming through. They're worth a lot of money. With Girona in the stable now, that's making the value of the CFG higher as well. So I think, if I was, this is just a top of the head valuation. I would have expected somewhere nearer to 2.5 billion. Yeah, just based on historical data. Now, I don't know how Forbes have done their calculations. I think that's one of the things. Different people can do their calculations in a different way. I'll give you an example where you'll be surprised about this, but possession stats, okay? How do you think possession stats are calculated by Opta? Is it actual possession? No, it isn't. It's not by actual possession. It's by actual, I believe, completed passes, okay? So if, for argument's sake, if City complete 500 passes, okay, and their opponents complete 100 passes, City will have a possession stat of just over 83%. 500 over 600, okay? And the other team obviously will have just under 17%. But that's not actual possession, it's just actual completed passes. That's as I believe it. So it depends who's coming up with the stats and what are they basing that upon. So, you've got to drill down and work out what these numbers are based upon. So I'm not sure how Forbes have come up with their numbers and how accurate they are. But City are a valuable club. Look, if you go on the basis that Sheikh Mansour has invested over, people say 1.2 billion quid in City in terms of players and the purchase price and paying off loans and everything else. His stake, his 87% stake, is going to be worth whatever, 1.8 billion pounds. So he's already made at least 600 million quid if he was to sell City now. That's not bad. 600 million quid. So he's making money on his investment. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And the last point of order today is net spend. It's apparently been released, it said last year, I think I was reading the MEN or somewhere, that City's net spend last season was better than... Your comments, guys. I'll give you some time now. And we're going to finish in 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm just going to read your comments, and then any questions I'll answer. Yep, English Massive, Dani Alves will only be a backup. Mike James, I accept multi clubs. It's better than Liverpool, better than a few other clubs. To be honest, do you know what I say? Who cares? Honestly, who cares? Net spend means nothing. It is irrelevant in football. It's an off-the-field made-up thing. It's absolutely made up. It's got nothing to do with football. It's irrelevant. Forget about it. Let's go. Good job for a season, but I don't like his attitude, what he did to City. And I think City hierarchy might feel the same. Hi Kamal, hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed those 4 topics I just talked about. Alves good in the dressing room. We'll see. English Mastiff, he's too old. Kamal, he'll just be there as a backup, and maybe Walker would play most of the league games and the Champions League games, and Dani Alves could be there for the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and a few league games. That's it. Yeah, and as a backup to Walker in case he gets injured. But he's not my cup of tea. I'd rather have a younger, hungry right back who can develop to challenge Walker. Dani Alves is no long-term solution, and I want someone there who... Walker's 29 years old? I want someone to challenge him and put pressure on him for his position. Mike, we still have Danilo. If we can... Yeah, Mike was Paul Mike. But if we keep Danilo, I'm happy. Danilo's a great utility player. Darcy, who do you think will honestly, I don't know. That's the truth. Lots of rumours about Cancelo, but that's not happening. If Danilo doesn't go and we keep Danilo for next season, then I'm quite happy with our transfer window. If the idea with the centre-back is to use Fernandinho more at centre-back as a spare and to use Eric Garcia and develop him and integrate him into the defence, then I'm more than happy with that as well. I'm happy with our current squad if we add nobody and lose no one. Then I'll be happy. If we lose Sane, yes, I'll be looking for another attacker stroke wide man. But if we keep who we've got, lose Delph, I'm not worried. I think City want to keep Delph. Apparently they're saying if he wants to leave, he has to ask for that transfer. They might be linked to bonuses or whatever. I thought Garcia was missing the under-19 years. I thought Pep had asked for him to miss that to focus on City. English Mastiff, Marta is in a luxury player, should cash. Not going to happen. Spencer's the mark. Alves, Glory Hunt, absolutely. Don't want him. English Mastiff, if Gundogan doesn't sign, I want to keep Gundogan. From my point of view, I'd rather sell him for on a free at the end of next season than sell him now and then look for somebody else to squeeze into the club. No, I'd rather keep Gundogan. He's already been there, done it for us for 3 seasons, and he knows the club. I'd rather keep Gundogan while we're integrating Rodri into the Premier League than get another player and then have 2 players who are not experienced in the Premier League. I want to keep Gundogan. Don't worry, Ray Barlow, it's only meant to be a very short blast this afternoon, focused just on football. No other sports, no the chit chat, no cricket, all that banter and other stuff is for tonight. So Spencer Mart, Alves signed for United. Yeah, overrated, big ego, wants a shed load of money. He'd be asking for 200 grand a week, I suppose. No thanks. Spencer Mart, business English. Don't know what that means. Nasri, I don't think City will focus on the Champions League. Yes, I don't think in public we're going to focus on the Premier League. In private, they might want to focus on both, or maybe a shade towards the Champions League, but they're not going to come out and say that in public. And Pepper said, if I went to bed at 3 o'clock. Oh, guys, I'm going to got 2 minutes. Okay, I said that 2 minutes ago, but there's a lot of things. Got to go, Darcy. Take it easy. Take it easy. It's what you train for. And David Silva said the same. It's what you train for every week is that game on Saturday or Sunday in the Premier League. It's what you focus on most of the time. Ray Ball said to watch New York City last night. You're at 3 o'clock, man. I'd be knackered if you worry about FFP. I told you guys, I don't know why you're worried about FFP. We are comfortable with FFP. We're making a profit every season. And this season, and this summer, we've got the new contract with Puma. That's going to make a mockery of FFP. It's going to clean us. We're way away from FFP. Extra money from the TV rights deals, extra money from Puma. It's huge. And we're already making a profit. We're already comfortable with FFP. And we're going to be even more comfortable. Hi Carl, hope you're well. Net spend nonsense, forget it. City's the lowest. Who's going to talk about it? No one's going to talk about last season's net spend. They want to focus on, let's talk about the last 5 seasons net spend. It's always the time period that satisfies fans of other clubs. But if you were to say, let's talk about last season's net spend, they don't want to do it. Last season's net spend for City was extremely tiny. The only major addition was Mahrez. We sold best part of 50 millions worth of talent. We had 50 millions coming in from loan deals and from selling young players and selling established players. Like Joe Hart, he was included last year, £3.5 million. So, our net spend was tiny. And it's not worth worrying about. And if we spend all our time in the last couple of years laughing at other clubs and other clubs' fans who are focusing on net spend and now want to laud it, we kind of, double standards. So let's not go there. Absolutely, Kamal. Cancelo will challenge Walker. Dani Alves wouldn't. A young right back, Wan-Bissaka, in a year's time could have been challenging Walker. So I think it's important whoever we get has to be a direct threat to Walker. Otherwise, what's Walker worried about? He's thinking, my position's safe. No, I want him to be worried. Is anyone impressed with the Puma kit? Yeah, I think the away kit's okay. I'm going to go and check it, Zippo. Tomorrow I'm going to the club store, so I'm going to go and check it out there. Yeah, Rob, hopefully we're not going to get Dani Alves. I'd be very shocked. Hi, Paul Blue Oasis. I've got 1 minute, then I'm off, because this is just meant to be a quick 10-15 minute blast about football, focused on the football in our afternoon slot, and then a little bit of chat with you guys for 5 minutes. The evening slot is more general chat, still talking mostly City, talking about other sports, talking about other general football, and talking about life in general. Hit that like button, nice to get up to 30. FFP is irrelevant, because we're doing too well. Absolutely, Mike. Biscuits and donut and white rice on brown rice. Yeah, English massive. Juventus playing hardball. We'll see what happens. Robert Line, the stream is finished. We've got 1 minute. I'm going to give you a quick summary because the afternoon session is purely football, focused on football and Man City. Evening session, evening live stream. Might be 7:30 tonight because I've got to pick my wife up from the station. Evening session is more Barcelona's a red herring, really. I think they're a red herring. It's just mentioned, so trying to push City along. I don't think that's going to happen. Hi, Mukund. Hope you're really well. Essie had his 10-year deal, 400 million. 26. I'm not worried about next spend. Absolutely stick that FFP. Hi, Football Fan Chat. You missed laid back, more general chat. Four stories. Dani Alves. Rumours that Dani Alves, City are interested in getting this 36-year-old Dani Alves for a year as a backup to Walker. I don't want a backup to Walker. I want a threat to Walker. I want somebody who can challenge for Walker's position. I want Walker to be looking over his shoulder, knowing that if he doesn't concentrate, doesn't focus, that someone's there to take his place. That could have been Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That's not going to happen. It could be Cancelo, and that's probably who I'd go for. He's a direct threat to Walker. He's young enough to give him a threat immediately and for the next 5 years. Alves wouldn't do that. He'd be here for 1 year. Mercenary. don't want him. Asia Tour, some names that were mentioned that are going on the Asia Tour, like Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Raheem Sterling, Leroy Sané, Kyle Walker, KDB. For instance, these guys are going on the Asia Tour. We're not going to get the guys who play in the Copa America going. That's Fernandinho, that's Edison, that's Gabi Jesus, that's Otamendi, and that's Sergio Aguero. We're not going to get anybody from the AFCON, which was Riyad Mahrez. We'll get a load of kids going through as well. Going to see what's going to happen there. Most valuable clubs: City, according to Forbes list, valued at £2.15 billion. They're fifth in the list. United are 3 by City. When they sold 13% of the CFG back in I think December 2015, that sold it for £265 million. That valued City at £2 billion. So I think we're probably closer to £2.5 billion. All depends how Forbes have done their valuation. On my back of the 0.03 billion, Real Madrid at the top at 3.38 billion, Barcelona, if I remember correctly, about 3.11 or something like that, Bayern Munich at fourth at 2.38. Personally, I believe City are worth more, because when we sold, when Adug, the vehicle that paper envelope valuation, I'd say we're closer to 2.5 billion. A lot's changed in those 3.5 years. Our turnover's gone up significantly. Our profits going up. Our income streams are increasing, like with the Puma now, with the Puma kit deal, with every deal that we're signing, all these new deals, with the TV deals. It's going up and up and up. So I can't believe we're try and do about an hour and see you then. Take it easy, guys. Valuation is static as compared to what it was 3.5 years ago. I don't believe that in the slightest. And the last thing was net spend. Who cares? Guys, it's been fun. Have fun. Come on. I think I'm going to do 7:30 slot tonight, because I'm picking my wife up at 9 from the station. I won't be back till 10:30, possibly. So we'll go for 7:30. Try and do about an hour and see you then. Take it easy, guys.